August 3rd, 2019. What time? 12:02 p.m. Happy to be here. Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. We're in the world. We're in the universe. About to create something nice for y'all to listen to. Michael Moses with another Michael in the house.
You're gonna try that last name?
Yeah, Michael K. There's a Y in it for sure. There's a
Mike
W.
Wazowski.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, Mike Wazowski. Yeah.
How you doing, Mike AM? It's a good day for a podcast. He said, yeah, let's do it. I said, fuck yeah, okay, let's do it. And that's how it happened, and it's happening now.
Yeah, wait. Let's turn off the music so we don't get canceled. So the robots don't detect us. There's sentinels scouring the internet for copywritten music and taking down independent podcasts. I mean, I get it. I guess as... No, not really. Because, I don't know. I've never received a significant enough royalty payment. Maybe because everyone's just using my songs on their podcast and I'm not getting paid for it. That's what's going on.
I think, but then, once you realize, if you got paid for that song, like, and then people started using it, like, no, I'm getting paid for that song now. No more free.
No more,
If you
no
start
more
off
exposure
free,
bucks. I'm done with this.
Yeah, if you start off free, then you're like, all right, it doesn't matter if I get paid. But then,
Our guest today, comedian Michael Moses.
Hey,
What's
thanks
happening?
For having me. Nice to see you. Thanks for having me, Michael. And sorry, how do you pronounce your last name again?
Mishkovsky.
Mishkovsky.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
there you go.
Did I get it on the first time? Nice.
Yeah,
for sure. I was feeling it.
Yeah, that's the best. You can't. I don't.
Language.
I'm not into that when you go into an accent for a word.
Right.
That's not cool. You got to find your language's way of saying it.
Yeah, for sure.
So Mishkovsky's good.
Yeah, but that's language too. Is just because that's Polish, right?
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah, ways you got to go into a different language. A lot of sounds. For European last names, a lot of sounds for those over there. I have a French roommate. And she tried to tell me how to say laugh in French. And do you know French at all?
It's rear.
Yeah, right. But she's saying it like, she's like, it's not even, she's making, she's like,
there's a K in there.
Yeah. She's saying, really, I was just like, that doesn't make me, that makes me laugh at you. But yeah, that's not but yeah, so language is crazy, but that's cool. And Michael. We got guests.
Oh, we left the door open for Eric, but now our upstairs neighbors are coming in with their dog. Hey there, we're recording a podcast. Don't mind us.
Enjoy. Big grocery haul. Nice. That's cool. Are you named after a famous Michael?
Yeah. There's a book translated to. It's called Potop, and it's like the Polish Lord of the Rings. It's not a fantasy novel. It's about like the, I think it's a Turkish invasion of Europe. So I think in like the 1300s or so, Poland was kind of a big, they occupied a lot of Europe.
Right.
And people from...
Okay, yeah, we got the map.
That side of the world. Yeah, we got the map of the world that people can't see.
No.
People from the east.
Yeah.
We're like, we're gonna take this stuff, and then the hussars. That's cavalry, right? So the book is about that, but there's also like witches and shit. So it's set in a real time,
right?
And there's a guy with Sir Michael.
Oh, you read the book? Yeah,
I saw the movie. I saw the movie. The books are thick, and in Polish. So
they went like Lord of the Rings times 2.
On the length like every one of the books is like the whole trilogy, which is always
they didn't break it up
really
into
big.
3 parts.
Yeah, so he's got a mustache and a sword that like almost no one else can lift.
Really?
And he's
he's like the Thor of Turkey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nice, nice.
So that's the Michael that I'm named after.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, no,
What Michael are you named after?
You know what? My dad, he actually wanted to name me after Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like, Michael, I like Michael Jackson, and it's like my mom's like a psychic because it's like she knew. She's like, no. She just went, I don't know, this is 1990s, right? So
Really?
Michael wasn't on that, what we know now after a documentary, right? But so she went, nah, Michael Jordan. So then Michael Jordan, and now I'm a bald black guy. So I think it worked. It looked like Michael Jordan, so I think it worked out. Yeah. But it's a famous Michael. That's funny because I was like, oh, famous Michael. And you actually did have a good story.
Oh,
Good book. I gotta watch it. What's a movie called?
Put Up.
Oh, Put Up. You said Put Up.
Yeah, and,
that takes 2 times to remember.
Yeah, there's 3 of them.
Oh, okay.
It's I don't know if
I don't think it's gonna be put on Netflix anytime soon, but maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's probably on Polish Netflix.
It's probably on Polish Netflix.
You travel, right?
Yeah,
so there's
yeah,
different
Netflix.
You know, it's a treat when you're like, oh, Rick and Morty's on American Netflix. What the fuck?
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
You just came back from New York.
Yeah, I
was
was just
a bit about that.
Yeah, I was in New York for a wedding, but go to the Mecca, right? It's the Mecca for a lot. Is it the Mecca for music too, or like you would wanna play it? I know for stand up, it
is.
Or is there a Mecca for music, or just?
I played in. I'm going to steal one of your lines, but don't tell the government.
Yeah.
I did have the honor in 2016 to playing a Jeff Buckley tribute show in Arlene's Grocery in New York, which was the last venue he ever played before he died.
Right. Yeah. So you got a lot of musicians that kind of started, like for comedy, Greenwich Village. I bet there's a lot for.
Arlene's is in Greenwich Village as well.
I watched some movie about a singer going around, it kind of like a Bob Dylan-esque, but I think it was following Bob Dylan, kind of thing. And Greenwich Village was in there. So that's so but then was like had to do comedy there, right? Like,
did you hit an open mic?
I hit a mic. It was actually not an open mic, it was an actual like a mic. Like I got booked on the show, kind of like where I felt like almost I was like a headache to the guy, because I was like, hey, another comic that is from Toronto, he lives there now, so I go, hey, do you know a good show on a Friday? And he gives me this guy's contact, and I add him on Facebook. I even like his comedian page too. Send the same message, copy and paste to both accounts, and he says he's like, sure. He's like I can't guarantee.
Just one word response.
Yeah. It was very the whole time.
But you're like,
I'm freaking. Yeah, I got the show right.
In New York.
I heard it's a good show. It's a Friday night. It's New York City. Yeah,
it's always a good show. If it's like Monday afternoon, there's still going to be 15 people.
Yeah,
there.
like going like to even the end of the show, it was over, and I was leaving, and people were going into the bar that it was at. The sign was still out that said free comedy night, right? And people were like, oh, comedy night. And then they looked at their watches. They're like, damn, we missed it. But that's how excited they were. Yeah, which was exciting because you don't have that here in Canada. People are like, oh, free comedy. Let's skip next bar, please. Let's not going in here.
Hey, this bar has free comedy. Ooh, let's keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's after the fact, they're like, I'm not going into a place that even had free comedy. Yeah. I'm like, oh, it's over? No, I'm still not going in there.
The stench of desperation is
it's gonna cling. Yeah, and it's gonna cling on to me. Yeah. Yeah. But no, yeah. So I got on the show, and he goes, "Hey, I'll throw you on." But I had to confirm that week. I was just like, "Hey, am I on?" Right? He goes, "Yeah, come by." Right? Still no. But I got there. Yeah, it was just at this beauty bar. It's called Beauty Bar in New York. It was on 14th Ave. It was very cool. We got off the subway, and we walk in, and it's like just a bar. But then there's like 3 girls lined up in chairs doing people's nails beside the bar. Very crammed space. Very crammed. Like the brain, like cram space, but like people doing people's nails, and then they had a back room, which is perfect for comedy. If you got a back room somewhere, like at any bar, we'll let you do comedy, because then you're not interrupting the the regulars or people walking by, or when somebody peeks their head in, it's not just this depressing, open mic comedy feel of 3 people looking at somebody trying to do joke. So it was in the back room. I got there. It was awesome. And then there's other people traveling, comics from LA, and other comics from across the country. And we go in the back room, and this one comic from LA, this smoke show, she was very hot. Yeah, and she was crazy. I'm like, and it was like too hot. Like, I don't know why you need to be funny. You know, yeah. Like, it was just like, but she gonna be, and she was bringing people, and so then it was like a room, like, you know, packed of girls and like 4 dudes. So it was gonna be fun, right? And the first host, he was like guest hosting for somebody.
Oh, hold on a second. Is that Eric? Eric, is that you? Someone else. Let's see who it is.
Build the anticipation. Dun.
Oh, I left this open, but the people upstairs.
He did left it open. Eric is in the house right now. He's here. He got it.
Yeah, you can close it now.
Hey, what's going on?
We got everyone.
Nice.
Stilton's not here today.
Mm-hmm. Nice to meet you.
He's at Grandma's house.
Yeah.
You know a boss?
Yeah, Boss Wop. Yeah.
I've done his on at Whalers.
Yeah, Whalers. Yeah. And a Boss. Yeah, he used to come. You know, when he was back in London. And then he used to come to Hamilton all the time. And then he goes, quitting my job and I'm moving to Toronto. I'm like, okay, crazy, you know, working out, you know.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Whalers is good on that time early. Then you can hit other ones too.
What's that?
It's good because Whalers is early, and then you can hit some other. Yeah.
Eric is here. We don't have a soundboard queued up. That's all right. That's all right. It really is. New York playing a show. Yeah, Michael was just telling us about he went to New York for a wedding, but ended up finagling his way onto a bill. So
I like that, onto a bill. You know,
it's not a. Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't some open mic waiting.
That's performer privileges, right?
Yeah. This guy knows me now. Yeah. No Facebook post, but I was there.
Yeah, exactly.
I posted a photo just so y'all know I was in New York.
Yeah. It's all about keep up those appearances.
Yeah, for sure.
Do it for the. Are you on Instagram?
I am. Yeah. I do a lot in the story, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm too self-conscious about the stuff I post. Like, even though Instagram just has others, I'm like, I know how many people liked it.
Once they introduce the posts, or once they introduce the stories, you're like, is this worth a post?
Right. Yeah. Like, this might be just story worthy.
Yeah.
This isn't post.
And then you're like, oh, my last post was like 6 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I realized, like, this isn't Instagram post worthy, but this might be Facebook photo worthy, which is a weird thing to go back to.
Yeah.
'Cause you've been going on Instagram forever. That's where your photos go. And then you're like, oh, wait, Facebook will let you upload your own photos if you want to.
Literally the only thing I do on Facebook anymore is spam my shows.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, for sure. It gets so crazy where you're like, I don't think any of my friends before I started spamming shows even are on my Facebook anymore, because it's just people that are, you know, he likes my show, I like that he's doing this show, back and forth. You're like, where's the regular people? It's when you post something exciting, then they come back. Go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you are.
And it's just that they like that you're doing it. They don't care to like see you do it or whatever.
No.
They're just like, oh man, I'm glad
He's
this
still
is working
doing
out
it.
for you. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
It's inspiring.
Yeah. That's the great thing, where they're inspired, but they're also like, wow, I can't believe he's still doing it.
Yeah.
You see him in person, they're like, you still doing that comedy? Yeah, I've been doing it 6.5,
I gave
7
up
years.
all my dreams so long ago.
Yeah, so long ago. You still at that? Yeah. How you get paid? Next question. Yeah.
Where
the money come from?
There is this weird threshold. I think Eric was talking about it, about how like there's like this arc of you're in high school and college. It's like, oh, you're in a band, cool, and then you're in your like late 20s, and like, oh, you're in a band, yeah. And then you keep going with it, and you get a second wave of it, where it's just like, oh wow,
And back to the signs outside for free comedy, they're like, oh, you're in a band. Where do you play? Just so I know not to go there.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure out. All right, this ain't Hollywood. I'll skip that part of James. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go to Bayfront.
Williams is nice and quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll go skating at Williams.
Yeah, so the place wasn't a nail salon. It's just like a gimmick of the bar that they do your nails.
Beauty
there.
bar, yeah, they do your nails there, and it's bar, and then the back room, and it was nice because it was a show and it was booked and it was packed, and then I was watching the other comics because for some reason when you go and you're like in New York, you feel like they're just gonna be this degrade, like higher, it's the best, and then you watch and they weren't.
Yeah.
They weren't anything special. They weren't anything you haven't seen before. So it gave me like, okay, I can do this.
You get
it
the
made me
same
think,
range.
you go, you get the same range everywhere. Their top is definitely higher than exactly Hamilton's top.
Because the top from everywhere can go there.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly.
But the average
But the low
level
is the same.
Exactly.
And the amateur and the semi-pro and the coming up is still all the same. So it gave me I'm like, okay, I can do this show. It's going to be no problem, right?
Nice.
And I thought it was like New York. Sometimes you get 3 minutes up there. So that's what I thought I was going to get, 3 minutes. And I just did 10 minutes, recorded it. Even my girlfriend goes, yeah, you do that time. Everybody else was doing time. Make sure you take advantage, right? And yeah, it was a great set. It was a lot of fun. And it's good to see how your jokes translate to Americans. And there was people from, around America. So now it's good. And people came off, added some people on Facebook. So boom, if I go here, can do a show here, go there, go do networking. Yeah, it was fun. And the host was fun. He was really drunk off the top.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the host was and I was talking to him beforehand and kind of like, hey, man, my name's Michael, trying to be nice, trying to, like me and, kind of thing. And then he goes up and he goes, don't worry, I'm a lot better than the guy who regular hosts. He said that. He said that. He goes, don't worry, I'm a lot better. And he said it jokingly, but also he believed it. He's like, I'm better. And then he went up and he was definitely not better. He was drunk. He was and he goes, oh man, I'm drunk. And he didn't seem drunk, but when he got up and then the other host popped in.
Oh, that's worse because sometimes people get undrunk when they hit the stage.
No, he embodied it. He's like, yo,
wow,
I'm gonna be the drunk guy and hope it works. And then it didn't work. Tried and failed. You got to try it, right? But he's like, I'm just gonna dive into being the drunk guy. And they were like, nah, we want confident guy. Yeah, we want good guy. And so he came off and that guy, other producer goes, hey, I'm going to put this guy next. And then he goes, this guy? He couldn't even figure out. And the guy goes, are you drunk? And he goes, yeah, I am. And he's like, all right, you're out. I'm hosting now. And just kicked him out. He didn't even watch the rest of the show. He was just at the bar. And then the other guy hosted.
They replaced the replacement host on the spot.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's
a
turbulent night at Beauty Bar.
And it wasn't like people were like, oh, and it was just total nice change. All right, let's do this show. It was good.
Anytime I have more than 2 or 3 drinks, for doing I've only done stand up for a little bit, but anytime I've had more than 2 or 3 drinks, it goes badly. I try and maybe keep it to 1. It's honestly better if you just stay in the pocket and then
afterwards for sure. No, absolutely. Even I'm like, I don't know. It's a dangerous game because I've been drunk up there and you're like, no, this is not good.
You think it's gonna be good, and then you get up and you're like, oh
no. You feel you feel bad. Yeah. No, but being drunk on stage, you're like, no, you gotta. Maybe somebody goes, hey, you have a drink. Just exactly like you said, stay in the pocket. Just it's better to have your nerves and your and be unsure of yourself than wasted confidence. Drunk confidence is not. You're that guy at that bar. Now you're just on stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then maybe you'll have those rare nights where you do kill drunk, and you're like, I can do this every day.
Yeah. But
so how did you pick your set for that? Did you going into it because you're not in New York every day, right?
No, right.
So did you go all right, this is gonna kill here, this is gonna kill here? You weren't. Did you workshop anything there?
Didn't workshop, but it definitely wanted to see what jokes would land. Kind of there because there's some jokes I work in Canada. And I got some just references and sports references and stuff. And in Canada, they are all right, you know, a little bit. Like I've referenced Stephen Marbury, and people don't know who he is, or like if they do, it's just. But I've done it. Like sometimes I go across to Buffalo, do some mics, and then even like a 21-year-old would be like, "Yo, that's Stephen Marbury joke," you know, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I wanted to be in New York, and like just like I had this Colin Kaepernick reference, and people really, you know, got there. I have like fuck dads instead of fuck boys kind of thing tag on a joke, so you know, where I, you know, like
see, I've never heard fuck dad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you know, fuck boy.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the term fuck boy. So right. What's the difference?
Yeah. I bought a car. A car.
Oh, okay. That's it.
Fuck dads own a car. They let you drive it. Fuck boys don't do that. Yeah.
I saw a bumper sticker driving through Grimsby yesterday, and it said, "Yes, I'm a girl. Yes, this is my truck. No, you can't drive it."
Power. I
guess.
Yeah. Independence. Yeah.
So what kind of person is that? Is that a fuck mom?
I guess that's a girl from Grimsby. That's a fuck Grimsby. I don't know. Yeah, that's just yeah. But that's crazy. But you know, it was good. There's some jokes, like have some references to like, you know, Ontario or something. You know, just didn't want to do that, but I just want to get these jokes out and then try something. You know, a little new joke I'm working on. And I'm like, all right, that'll translate. But but at the same time, you like, it was a show and there's something you want to work on, but I also wanted to do well, right? You know, because like I do want to move down to New York at one point. So this just knowing this guy, knowing this show, doing well, be like, all right, cool. I know this guy, and I can message him again, be like, hey, I'm back in town, or I live here now. Can I get a spot? And then he's like, oh yeah. All
nice.
Right. Then he's not sure. He's like, oh, for sure. You know, he turns that sure to a for sure. You know, instead. So.
There's a big difference with comedy and music. I think with music, I think people are a lot more eager to just get their shit out there,
right,
and have everyone be able to listen to it. But with comedy, I think you're kind of hiding it, right?
Right. Yeah. I was talking to some guy who's a musician, and he's like, "So what's your plan? Like trying to get out there?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just trying to get good first, you know, and then get it out there." Yeah, because he's like, I'm like, what's your thing? And he's like, yeah, I'm trying to record this, put it on, you know, to Spotify, put it out there wherever it can go, and hopefully people listen. And you know, but yeah, definitely, I don't know what it is for like how long it takes to craft a song and get that song perfect. And I guess you get to release it, but yeah, to craft that joke and also to, you know, get that confidence on stage and everything, to be by yourself on stage, just you and the mic in front of a bunch of people. I think it takes a little more time to build up. And so, yeah, you do keep it off, because once it's out there, then it's out there, right? And, you know, people might want to hear a song again if they hear a joke.
Yeah. You only get to hear them with that punchline.
If they hear a joke 3 times, they're like, they get it twice. But, yeah, so you want to make sure that joke is finished, that it's got the proper hits, because sometimes you're like, man, that joke. And then you think, like, you know, even 3 months down the road, like, oh, that's funny, too. And you can add stuff, delete, remove stuff from the joke. So, yeah, you do keep it. And you're just, like, you know, building up your confidence, your stage presence, your timing, you know, everything, the jokes. You're building your act, right? And then you're going to release it somewhere. So, I don't know if that might be a difference a little bit.
So, how long since you've started, when did you first perform stand-up comedy?
I actually, like, very first performed stand-up in Vancouver, right in like 2013. No, 2012, 11. Whoa. Yeah, very first time. I was at this place, Kingston Hotel. I went back there like last year. It doesn't even exist anymore. Like the bar, but they don't even have comedy. I asked the waitress, she's like, nah, that's been long gone. Right? It's like foosball tables down there now. It's not. But I went, so I performed for the first time there. I just brought some friends out, 5 minutes, went up, have the tape. A friend recorded it for me, gave me a CD, so it's cool to see, you know, nice. And fun. A lot more raw than I am now, you know, like, yeah, so that's cool. Just like No Bart's Hold went at it, which was cool. and like 2000, and then I like sucked. I had my friends there, so the first one was like all right.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the respect of the comics, so But like I don't think you're gonna get the respect of the comics doing your first time. But then I tried it some other times and was just sucking. Felt like I was like, I'll be good, but I'm sucking right now. Just ended up in a competition. Didn't like a clap by the audience competition,
right?
And it's going down like, and this person's getting a big clap, the next person's getting a big clap, then it goes to me. Like one girl clapped.
Oh no!
Yeah, I know. I saw that girl down the street like a couple days later. I wanted to go up to her, give her a big hug. Thank you for clapping. She's like, "Who are you?" I don't remember you, but yeah. But it was, and then so that was like 2012, and then I moved back to. I'm from Alberta, so I was in Vancouver, and I moved back, and for a year I didn't even do it. Like I did like 5 sets out there, and then I moved to like Hamilton in 2013. So so that Vancouver was like 2011, and then I hit the ground running, and then I moved here, and I was like, and it came out here to do stand up, right? And
when you said you didn't do it after you came back to Alberta, do you mean were you like a little bit discouraged, or did you take in all this data from your first couple of shows, and you're like, I have all this shit to work on, and you wanted to kind of start fresh?
Definitely wanted to start on the material, but just the nerves got on me. Like I used to drive 20 minutes. Like I'm from a small town, Coda, and there's like a town that has open mics and had an open, but no comedy scene. There's a comedy scene there now, but back in 2012 or 13, before 13, there was no comedy scene. And so I would drive to this open mic music and be like, "Hey, could I do comedy?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." I'd be like, "Oh, good to know." And then I would drive home,
Yeah.
Like I was I imagined how it would go, and like even like look at people in the audience, and I could do crowd work on that couple. But for some reason, and then I would like drive there, and I'd drive home, and like couldn't find myself getting up on stage again after, because I just knew it was gonna be bad, and I just didn't want to go through. And I think it was closer because I'm, was at home, and I'm like, all right. Save up or go to Toronto. Like I still knew I was going to do it. Nothing. It didn't discourage me from doing it, but I was listening to other comics, professional comics, and listening to podcasts and any interviews you could find online. And then I moved out here, and I think being out here when you're like, I moved for this. I moved farther away from home than I've ever been.
Yeah.
For this, I'm gonna make sure I do this. And so then I hit the stages and started going hard. Every night out there, Toronto, boom, anywhere, Hamilton. But that was definitely, it was just, it wasn't even like I was working. I came out here like kind of some new jokes, but I didn't like spend a year like just like in a lab cooking it, cooking up, writing, just kind of preparing myself mentally almost. That was the year. It wasn't like cooking up. It was just like building myself up for the confidence to go up there and bomb and listen to other people fail and go, all right.
You didn't do any other like theater or whatever, like that that was the first time ever being on a stage for anything?
Yeah, pretty much. Like in the stand up, like done theater in school, but nothing like that. Well, you know what? I went to Vancouver for the acting for film and television program.
Oh yeah,
because I thought Chappelle said he went to a theater school. I now realize that his high school was a theater school. I thought he went somewhere like after high school,
right? Because they have those specialized schools.
So he was
sometimes.
there. So I'm like, But I went, and that helped a little bit because it breaks you out of your box a little bit, right? And so that helped. And then I got on stage, and then when I moved back home, I didn't like have that kind of stuff. So it was just like a mental preparation.
Who are some of your all-time favorite stand-ups?
My all-time, first all-time is Patrice O'Neal. I even got him tattooed.
Oh yeah,
I got him tattooed, right? I know, stupid ass. But for that year, right? Like where that mental preparation year.
Yeah.
I was listening to this dude talk about life and comedy and his way of going about it and everything. So I was like, and he just became my favorite.
Have you ever listened to him on like Opie and Anthony?
Yeah,
like
I went through all of those.
Oh my God.
I went through every interview.
Killed every time and never stops.
Never stopped.
Always something funny to say.
Yeah, and just people and like because then there's like that 3-hour Opie and Anthony thing of after his death and just people talking about him and him just completely being himself and in the business, and he talks about the industry and the business. So that was the year too, just listening to him. So he kind of, and being young mind and molded, this guy that kind of believed in something and like backed it up and and had arguments and discussions with people, and almost like they never could really persuade him. They came with their arguments, but he always had a better argument. So that guy, like, I'm like his favorite. And the joke, like, I never seen something, because you can feel it, like even feel it, like when you're at a party and you do something and the girls don't like it, it shuts it down. Like at a party, some dude does something too much, moons somebody, pulls out his balls and does it bad, and a girl's like, come on. It just shuts the whole room down. So you could feel that being a young man. So when he has a joke that goes like, it's all about like guys, like their their wife goes missing, right? And the guy goes, oh, I'm not gonna call the cops right away. I'll party for 3 days before I call the cops and stuff. And he goes all this stuff like how 3 guys can be at a party, and one of the guys will go, oh, no, you're never gonna hear a guy go, oh man, you know what I wish? I wish my girl was here, all right? She's funny So he does all this stuff anti-girl. Guys don't really care about girl. And it shuts the room down, really, in the theater that he's in. And then he goes, come on, ladies. You really ain't that funny. And then he asked the question, and he asked it to the audience. He goes, all right, ladies, let's say there's a terrible train accident, and for whatever reason, your vagina it's off. It cuts off. Now you have no vagina, but you have a man, and you get a 2 months. Well, I can't leave her because she just lost her vagina, right? I gotta stay with her. I can't leave her because she just lost her vagina. So what would you do after that 2 months to stay with your man? Get your man to stay with you, and he waits, and he goes, I'll wait, right? And he lets the audience yell back. So it's girls yell out, blowjobs, anal, right? And then he goes, okay, you guys just hated me, but I just gave you guys the chance to speak, and you just classified yourself as a bunch of holes, and now you're looking at me like, yeah. He's like, I gave you the chance, and none of you said learn to play Xbox, learn how to tell better stories, get another girl with a vagina to come in, right? And and then everybody laughs, and the girls laugh too, and I never seen somebody like. I think I've been in awkward situations, and just being a kid trying to play around, trying to joke, and then a girl hates it, and I've been asked to leave parties because I made the guy's sister uncomfortable trying to joke around. So then when he had that joke, it hit, because he just took females and then gave him a chance to defend himself.
I think the most powerful comedy comes from the relief of that feeling. Right. Like, does this person really think that? This?
Yeah. And then it was so funny because you got the shot of the crowd, and the girls are laughing and the guys are laughing. It was such a moment where I was like, oh my God, I think this guy's my favorite. So boom, right off the top, I was like, this guy. And Chappelle growing up. Yeah, was always my favorite. Louis, before I even watched and listened to Louis' thing that got leaked, and I was like, "That's funny."
That was funny,
man.
People
I was like,
tore that up, and I was like, "Fuck off!" That was hilarious.
Yeah, there's so many things where we got to separate what the artist created from who they were, and that's one of the things. I'm like, that was funny, and so he was always. I loved Tig Notaro, I really like her because she just does those guys. Patrice and Tig teach you that sometimes silence is okay on stage. There's good silence and there's bad silence, and sometimes this attentive, they're listening into it. Silence is good, and you can use it. You can really use that power of that silence to win that crowd and then get them to laugh. So,
Bill Burr, do you see how quiet it just got in here?
Yeah.
One of my favorite Patrice bits is, it's not, he's so funny just off the cuff. I'm sure he thought of this and then brought it into Opie and Anthony.
Yeah.
But when he breaks down Creep by Radiohead, he's like, this right here, this cuts into white people's souls.
Yeah. Yeah. He was like, listen, play it. Somebody, he's at a different radio station, and they go on about that too. And they start playing it, and he goes, 3 white people just drove into the Bay right now because, it breaks down the, Radio Creep. Yeah, and just, he really did try to understand white people and women. Like like a black guy from Boston's natural enemies, white people and women. He tried to really understand them and break them. Yeah, so he breaks down his Creep and the different versions of the song. You know how many people have written that song. Yeah, so he's definitely number one. I was like, yeah, I think it just fun. Yeah, because I've never seen somebody like that.
You know who I was binging a bit on YouTube is Stephen Wright.
Stephen Wright, yeah, for sure.
He was because Amazon just like, I don't know, they just helped themselves to like a subscription of Amazon Prime,
right? Yeah.
Somehow, so like now we have Amazon Prime, and we're like whatever, and then that Alan Alda, Louis C.K. What's it called? Horace and Pete.
Right, yeah, Horace and Pete.
And then Stephen Wright is just the guy in the back of the bar who just like hits these zingers all the time. And that's just an amazing career where all of your acting is just like one of the best jokes in a movie ever is the guy sleeping on the couch and then he goes, "Is it January?"
Yeah. I think those are the best lines of the movie. Just that one person that comes in that background.
Yeah,
you know,
he's been there the whole time.
When Harry Met Sally, she does the orgasm thing, and the lady goes, "I'll have what she's having." Yeah. Perfect, classic, done. You know, hilarious.
That's on your resume.
Yeah, you're done.
I'm that lady.
You're that lady. You did that, and now people quote that all the time.
That's a whole career.
How many times you wake up and you're around some friends and you go, "Is it January?" You know those lines that. Carry on.
Oh, I got so mad. My friend wrote, "Is it January?" on Facebook, and everyone's like, "It is cold today, isn't it?" I'm like, "You fucking ignoramus! Fuck you! You're cool."
Yeah, cool. Yeah. It is funny watching people misinterpret people's statuses for sure. Yeah, I saw somebody post, "Hey, looking for therapist recommendations," right? And then somebody just wrote, mine says "be yourself," or like some line that their therapist gave them. No, he's looking for an actual person. Like he's looking for a business card. He's not looking for what your therapist told you. Yeah. And I was just like, all right, you misread that for sure.
Looking for suggestions from your therapist.
Yeah. I don't want to go to my own therapist. Just tell me what your therapist has told you, and I'll compile a list, and then I'll do that. Yeah,
it's expensive.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Stephen Wright. Yeah, that whole Boston, man. Boston's a funny place, man. All those so then that year it was like, wow, Bill Burr, Louis, Joe Rogan, Dane Cook. Sorry.
Yeah, Dave Cook. I love Dave.
Dave, his brother Dave Cook and Dane Cook. Yeah, man, Patrice, like so many funny people have come from Boston. So, yeah, and Stephen Wright, and yeah.
I like watching Joe Rogan's evolution because
for sure.
he just jumped right into it, and he, kind of like before he was ready. So there's so much evidence of him sucking early on. Yeah. And I think that's fucking cool, right? You see those old bits where he's like, "Oh, talking like this, and trying to be Sam Kinison."
Yeah, trying to be, yeah.
Then he kind of really fell into his own when it was like 4 specials ago where I was like, "This is good."
Okay, yeah. It's crazy. Everybody has their different. Like came into Joe Rogan at a different. Like some people probably know him from stand up. I had no idea. I know him from Fear Factor, right? Some people know. That's where people probably know him from the UFC. And then some people from his podcast. He has like 4 different that's why he's so popular, I think, because he has 4 different avenues that people have found him and like kept on track with him, which is crazy.
I think he recently caused a kerfuffle with his it's like a telephone game thing, right? So his reach is just so huge now. So I was listening to his podcast, and then he said they've got an iguana infestation in Florida. And then they just declared that it's okay to shoot the iguanas.
Wow.
Whereas in reality, I think they actually had like people designated to be doing this.
Yeah.
But then a couple days later, I don't watch the news, but it's on at my laundromat, right? Yeah. So I'm just looking up at the TV. and it says, "Don't shoot the iguanas. This is not the Wild West." And I'm like, dude, Joe Rogan did this.
Yeah,
he was just like, you can shoot the iguanas in Florida, and everyone's like,
yeah, especially everybody in Florida is definitely a Rogan fan.
Yeah.
Definitely, just like, you can shoot the iguanas. I said, what are you doing today? Yo, iguana hunting season is open.
It's open.
Joe Rogan effect is real for sure.
People in Florida are just looking for an excuse to like shoot anything anyway.
Yeah,
so it's
for
just
sure.
Like, anything they hear, they're like, here we go.
Yeah, for sure. You got that gun, and it's just sitting there. Yeah, you're like, oh man, come on. I haven't had a robber in 180 days. Like, where the hell are the iguanas? Yeah. So Patrice is my favorite. But my new favorite guy, I'll just give a shout. Andrew Schultz is a guy who's been blowing up YouTube. He's been doing it. But I went and saw him at the Danforth a couple weeks ago, and insane, man. Best stand up doing it right now. I swear, man. It was so good.
That's
it was.
Big he is.
He's big, and like creating it on his own, because Netflix, I guess, wouldn't. I haven't heard the whole story, but it wouldn't give him his thing, and he's in New York, and
he shot a special for Netflix, and then they wouldn't put it on, or
no, I think Netflix didn't even want to shoot one for it, so he started his own kind of. He has like a TED Talk where he talks about how he asks just some people like, hey, what do you think about? And he goes, well, I liked it too long. So then he just cut up all this stuff and put it 2 to 4 minute clips on YouTube, and then people ended up watching 2.5 hours of his stuff, and that's what happened to me. I just got locked in and like really liked him, and like I think kind of about Patrice, that raw, just being yourself, and no PC. I'm gonna say it from the gut, and it's gonna come out. And so I went and watched him live, and it like said the bar was like here. I'm like, oh, that's where I gotta try to get to. That's where the bar is. I thought it was like here, and he just made it. Now it's higher, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go work harder, step into things a little harder too. Yeah, but those are the favorite comics. Just those comics. Just they're from the gut. Some truth, to it as well. It's funny, but you're like, oh, there's truth to that. That's nice, and you're challenging, a little bit of something in people, right?
I saw you at I don't know, you probably didn't notice me there, but Zyla's open stage a few weeks ago, and it was so strange because like it's kind of like an anything open stage, right? Yeah. But it's mostly musicians that are playing there. And it was so funny watching just a group of comedians walk in like a group of bandits in the fucking Wild West. Like it's a saloon, and
there's like three of just me.
Like, hey,
three of us, right? Yeah, because there's like the levity on the amateur, and then there's a guy that usually goes, Dan Brennan, and he goes, "You want to go?" And I'm like, trying to hit a mic, anytime I can, so I go for sure. And we walk in like
a hush walks over the room.
Yeah, exactly.
We're here to do some stand-up comedy.
Yeah, there's a microphone. We
don't want any trouble.
There's a microphone. There's people. Hey, we'll buy one beer, just so you're happy, and then we're doing stand-up. Y'all listening, and then we're leaving. Yeah.
And the first guy. Who's the older guy? What's it?
Dan.
That's
Dan. Dan. Yeah, he always likes to. Is friendly there. Knows the bartender and the owner. And what's his name? The owner of Zyla's.
Nick Zyla.
Nick Zyla. Yeah. So it was them, and it's cool. Yeah, and he was talking to him because I think he's from Alberta as well.
He is.
Yeah. So he has a crest of Alberta. Like.
Man, I was fucking crying because he was telling me this story about being on mushrooms in the fucking Edmonton Mall when he was like a teenager, and running into like a well, not a mall cop, but like like one of the two real cops that they have stationed there all day, and I've probably already said too much. I want to get him on to just like tell this story because I don't think he gives a fuck.
Yeah. But even that just sounds because the mushrooms and West Edmonton Mall is already so much at you.
Yeah.
Like mushrooms, and then there's this actual seal at the mall.
Yeah. Submarines.
You see submarines, you see seals. All of a sudden, you see an ice rink and then a water park.
Bungee jumping.
Yeah, roller park. You're like, you're in an arcade and a casino and a lot of people, and then you're like, that's a lot for sure coming at you while you're on mushrooms. But you're in Edmonton. What else are you gonna do with your Saturday? Yeah, But no, yeah, Zyla's was fun. Yeah, we walked in. Yeah, it was good open mic, and you guys were listening.
I could tell that you were trying some shit out.
Yeah.
I heard you did like a joke or two that does pretty well, and then you launched into some new stuff, and I saw you taking some notes after.
Yeah.
But there was this one. It was like it was something about. It was something heavy, like you touched on like suicide or depression, and you got to the punchline, and it was silent, and I just howled. I don't know if you remember one person laughing really hard, but it just like hit me right in the funny bone because like already the joke was pretty good, but there was not enough people to like relieve that tension. Where it's like if there was I think there was like 7 people actually like watching, right? So there was the 3 of you guys and Nick and Kat, and then like maybe 7 people actually just sitting there.
It would have been.
so then like one crazy person laughs, and it gets even funnier because then it goes from like, oh, I can't believe he'd say that to who's this asshole who actually thinks that's funny.
Right.
Yeah. But if like 3 people had laughed, then it would kind of
the room is
that's
together.
The breaking point.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And it is weird, like a bit like that, that is a little depressing. And then you talk about something like that, and you're like, you're stretching. You're going for it though. But yeah, exactly. And there was those moments that too are just like when a comic, I find it, when you're laughing at your friends or something, or just a joke doesn't land, and there is that tension. It's funny. I laugh so hard, watching a comic in a room full, like not even full of people, just empty. But because you're telling a joke and you want it to be funny, and then it just ends. Like you say, you say your line that's supposed to be the punch.
That's funny,
and it's nothing.
And if you know that they know that it could very well end like that, then it's even funnier. They're just like sitting there funny. Like
and people are like, I can't laugh at this. I can't. Yeah, it's all about getting people into the mind frame that we can laugh about this, and you gotta, before you get into the joke that's heavy, you gotta learn how to get into it and maybe, I don't know, disguise it, but go around the back way instead of straight down, to get there.
Or when you hit someone with like a really terrible pun. Actually, my girlfriend had a real slamming pun this morning. We're house sitting for some people out in the boonies right now. That's why our cat's not here. He's staying with grandma. We're
cat's out with grandma.
Cat has
all the
grandma.
Cat stuff.
So I drove her to work to just come back here, and then we're going back over there. So there's like this truck that's relatively little in relation to the massive, it has like 4 trucks high of hay bales stacked on top of it. So it's just like truck and just hay, right? And she goes, hey, save some for the horses.
That's fine. Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. I think because it's spontaneous, it's out of nowhere, and she sold it, right? She really gave it.
And when you see this little red truck with this giant bales of haze,
you just imagine everything. You like it just. Because the imagery, you imagine somebody like at a buffet,
and the idea that he's taking it from the horses.
Yeah, their plate is like too much. Yeah, they're taking it from the horses. Yeah,
like he's taking it for his horses or someone else's. But the idea that like this was at a farm for the horses, and he's like, "Fuck the horses."
Yes, fuck the horses. I'm taking this hay, building the house over here. Yeah. Nah, that's funny. And just sold it because you go, hey, save some for the horses. It's like, it's like, ha ha ha, chuckle. But when you get into, hey, like you were actually going to yell at somebody, stop, hey, put that back. You say, hey, hey, save some for a horse. That's hilarious. Yeah, some puns are, man, just out of nowhere are good. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They're like the next level. There's like cheeky, hacky jokes, and puns are just a level above. It's witty. It's
you were talking about like getting to like be able to talk about like offensive stuff and how you actually almost have to kind of like like move people's minds to get to there with you,
right?
Because if you just like come out the gate or whatever, they're kind of like, oh, what? You know Che?
Yeah,
Durena?
Yeah.
I saw him at Jay's show, Jay Freeborn's, his Friday night
at the Underground
show. Yeah, at the Underground, and he did this set, and like he does a lot of like really like dope, like kind of dopey, like just like I don't know how you would describe his sense of humor, but it's just kind of dopey, but it's really funny, and all of his lines are so fucking good, but it's so him kind of, and he got the crowd laughing, and then he got to this point where he was talking about like pretty offensively about like French people, and then he was doing like he did this like offensive like Chinese thing,
right?
But he got to there by kind of getting people's minds to go with him,
for sure.
But if he came out the gate on that, people would be like, "Yeah, what are you talking about?"
Yeah, for sure. yeah. No, because like getting into like let's say Shay is dopey, you get people into that dopey vibe. You get them to know a little bit about you, or just get where you're coming from. Oh, I get how this person thinks.
Yeah,
because people are willing to, can be persuaded. Obviously, we know that, and will go along with you. You just gotta, have something compelling enough in front of
Theo
you.
Vaughn has this charm where he can get away with anything.
Yeah,
it's just like so ignorant, and you're like, you don't even know if. Yeah. You just know it's not coming from a negative space. That's it.
It's got to come from a real. There's a little bit of this person actually thinks like this, believes like this. It can't just be something you don't actually believe and you're just trying to say it for whatever shock value or anything. But Theo, you watch Theo and you want to go to Alabama, like you feel, and you want to leave and you want to talk like that. Like even you watch a show, you can watch Downton Abbey and you're gonna leave if you get into it. You're gonna leave like a little posh, if talking a little more proper. So you got to get people into your thing. So like Shay talks about drugs, and now people are kind of all right. They feel I'm a little stoner, but it is the Underground, so But he got people into that realm, so now they can feel it's funny because guess where it's coming from. Just imagine, and Theo Vaughn has that too. He has that. There's that definitely a charm, but and it's persuasive, and then you go with him on in his jokes and whatnot. For sure.
Have you ever seen any of his when he's on Bobby Lee's podcast? That's because they're both
wild.
They're both playing off of it, and then Bobby Lee like feigns like he's really offended. But he's really just setting up for something. You're wearing a Bobby Lee shirt right now, aren't you? Oh yeah,
nice. Yeah, you gotta. Even Bobby, that's great setup because somebody's got to be a little offended to make it a little more funny, right?
Yeah,
you got to just challenge a little bit of what people are thinking on a normal way, just a little bit.
Yeah, he'll act so hurt by things
for sure, but and
really just setting up to be a bigger piece of shit.
Yeah, for sure. Which is so much better. I empathize with you, but yeah. It's funny. Yeah.
I don't know where we left off, but we just took a little bathroom break, just in case there's any inconsistencies. I was talking about how we're starting to snowball people who actually listen to the show versus people who just tune in for whoever's,
they like
whoever the guest
friend,
is. Yeah, exactly. But the problem is that
you can learn something from every guest.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep listen to this one, listen to the next one.
We have references to other guests. One of the most tragic. I think I already said this, but under listened to episodes is Dope Chief. I think because the worlds don't of visual art,
right,
and music just don't overlap,
right.
So like, it's such a funny episode and so much insight on creativity and stuff that, like I listen back to that one and I'm like, this is so good, and it has one of the least downloads.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna keep saying that until someone checks
keeps
it out.
Downloading it. Yeah.
But also unfortunately, the people like Eric who I notice are listening to all the time. I'm like, you work for me now.
Boom, building that
nice.
network.
Does this get paid?
Happens,
no,
right? Yeah. That's those big podcasts they have. That's how it starts.
Eric, you want to say some shit about comedy? You want to talk? You guys are talking a bit. Sure.
Okay, hey, what's up? I'm going to talk about comedy.
I'm going to talk comedy.
I guess.
Yeah, we're going to have a serious conversation about comedy right now. Yeah.
Well, this is going well. You guys already talked about him going down to New York, right?
Yeah.
But you were talking about kind of like traveling down there and how you enjoyed like the travel through like upper New York State and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever, what's kind of like your longest trip? Is that it or?
No, no, it's crazy. This July was crazy because to the weddings it taking me, but I was just in London, England too the week before, which was crazy. And I did 2 sets there, at some clubs. So the wedding was on the Thursday. Flew in, got a car, which is crazy because just on the opposite side of the road.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was opposite, and the roads are narrow, so I got it right, and it was raining, of course, England.
Yeah.
And so I get there, and they go, all right, we got you in a manual, and like I know how to drive manual, all right, I'm still like a little. Behind it, but I'm not driving a manual and on the opposite side of the road. You guys got to get me an automatic, So, yeah, there's no way. So boom, so it's crazy.
Yeah, you'd be shifting with the other hand too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so weird.
Shifting,
man.
Yeah, shifting with the other hand, and the rearview mirror is weird. That's weird. I don't think I looked at my rearview mirror ever. It was the weirdest thing to look left at it. Like I could check the mirrors and shoulder check were fine. Definitely did that because it definitely had the shoulder. But the review, I was like, yeah. But then shifting with it, so I was like, please don't. Like I didn't even want to touch the radio because it was with my left hand. Like I was just like, let me just drive, try to find where I'm going. But England was cool and it was tight. Now I'm back here driving more confidently because there's I'm like, we got space
just
over here.
Just the contrast.
We got space on the road over here. No roundabouts like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, roads are so small there, eh?
Yeah,
and like parking spaces too. Parking spaces are like just big enough for the car. Here they're like a full house.
Yeah, and like every street here like would be a one way. They're like, nah. Whoever gets into the lanes first, you go first, and then the other person, you shine your light to let the other person know you come. Yeah. So I didn't even know where the lights were on the car. But it was cool, and I did some shows there, and it was awesome. I did the show at this place called the Backyard Comedy Club. I got it on it, right, and big difference just on how the shows are run and how the producers let you know about the show because he goes, you're on the show. He goes, show up for 8:30. You're on at 9, right? Mm-hmm. So I go, the show starts at 9. I'm on first. That's what I thought. Mm-hmm. No, the show started at 8. I didn't have to be there till 8:30, and then I was gonna go on at 9, right? Mm-hmm. Usually people just say, "Hey, you're on." Show starts at thing. But they just let you know when you're gonna be on and show up before then, which was totally different because I brought some friends along, to the show, and I'm like, oh, when's the show? And I had no idea what was going on. There was nobody in like the foyer area. I'm like, oh man, it's dead, right? And then the lady at the front tells my friend that she has to pay a late fee charge because she's late for the show.
Shit.
I was like, oh fuck. And then she had to pay $3, and I'm like,
that's kind of cool though in a way because it's like it's making sure that people like observe the show for the show and kind of like stick around for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So and be there on time. But I had no idea. I thought the show started at 9. It actually started at 8, and I didn't get there until 8:30, a little before. So and then we go into the back, and I'm like, oh, it's packed. It's like 100 some people, it's cool. I'm like, oh, this is a nice first show in England, in London. Yeah. And it was packed. And I thought it was going to be like backyard. I've seen some photos. And I thought it was going to be like, on Augusta Street, like the back of, the Ship or the back of, Wink and Judge or something like that. Mm-hmm. But no, it was like a club. It was awesome. And we went back there and 100 some people. And they do intermissions, in like America, they have servers coming around, right. And it's kind of sometimes it's loud and people are chatting, getting their drink orders,
checks and stuff.
Checks, and when you're at a headliner, it's a headache because now you got people paying their bills and the debit machine, and a light shining in their face, and the waitress doesn't know that she's being loud, and she goes, "Can I get you anything?" Yeah. And you got to tell the waitress, "Hey, they are gonna talk as loud as you. So if you whisper, then they'll whisper, but if you talk with your normal voice, they're gonna respond with their normal voice." So, yeah, it was a lot. So they do intermissions, which in Canada we don't like. Definitely. Anytime a show goes, we're gonna do an intermission. We're like, oh my god, you're just gonna kill the flow of the show.
I love intermissions.
Yeah, you love.
I love them. John Mayer did one.
Yeah. I think, definitely. I think,
Music might be more conducive.
Music. I think are definitely conditioned to
because the laughs start kind of piling up. You start laughing because you're laughing.
Yeah, it starts rolling, and then But so then, I was like intermission. But this first show did 2 of them. So it did like the host, first comic. I think he did like 15, 20 intermission, and then me. And then another guy, Vitaly from Russia. It was very funny. Yeah. And then another intermission. But people got their beers and came back. It wasn't like hey, we're waiting for people to come back. No, they were there and back. Like, it was just, I think they're conditioned to. And, it was good. Yeah, it wasn't bad. And it was nice because there's no servers coming through making any, people were just there watching the show. And it was fun. But then, like, England, I think because of that, and because you never get the laughs really rolling for your set, it never feels like it's like boom, joke, all right, next one. Like, they laugh, stop, laugh, stop, and you're like, oh, but I couldn't, I'm trying to get this train rolling and like a big and like thing, but it felt weird. I was like, so I listened back to it, I recorded every set, and I'm like, oh, this is fine, but it didn't feel like fine, like it felt all right. But it didn't feel fine.
They have a totally different tempo in England.
The tempo is
Monty Python.
Right.
I was watching that sketch where he's like in an office and the guy has like a lazy eye or whatever, so he's seeing 2 of everything. Right. And then they're like building it up on this like lazy eye bit.
Right.
And it's just like, oh, he sees 2 of them, and he's like, he's really forgetful too. It's like, oh yeah, there's just one of you, and he keeps saying, oh, there's 2 of this. We're gonna climb Mount Everest or Mount Kilimanjaro, and we're gonna get to the peak and the other peak or whatever. And then you're just like, this is so stupid. And then the guy comes in like the full gear and starts knocking everything over. And the whole thing was just a misdirect.
Yeah, for sure.
And they have that kind of patience. And when you come in and I actually kind of misread a room at like a music open mic, right? And from like a playing perspective, I did as well as I ever do. I kind of killed it in my own humble opinion, right? But I just picked the wrong songs. I didn't play the room,
right?
And
and I think that's something I'm like, okay, learn for sure. But that's a great point that they have this patience that you're like. North America don't have, North America's like, now, oh, you ain't making me laugh in 5 seconds, you're done. You don't like your stupid comic.
I don't like it. Per minute approach.
Yeah, exactly. But they have that patience, and which was cool. And then the second set I did was more of an open mic-ish thing upstairs, and that was a lot of fun too. A lot of fun, and it was cool to be there. And I'm like, I got some contacts, so I want to go back. It's cool being around people with different accents. Something about just surrounded. I'm like, I gotta get back. I didn't really have a bug to travel Europe. I'm like, now I gotta go and try it. It's awesome. But they don't have. But the weirder thing about England, I was there. I was at a restaurant, ordered some food, and it was weird because I was with other people, and they're like, I'm not ordering food here, and I was like, oh, what's wrong with it? But I was so hungry. And so I ordered this like Sri Lankan thing, and the waitress comes, she goes, it's going to be spicy, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. But I'm like, ordered it already. I'm like, not going to switch it up. And I'm like, I just learned about myself. I don't do spicy food. And I've tried hot, like the wings, and I'm like, you know what? I got to just stop. I got to stop pretending that I do spicy. Like, I got to stop. Hey, you're black, you do spicy. No, I got to just know myself better and be like, you know what? Mild is good for me. Honey garlic is good. Just stop trying to do spicy. But this came, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. Do you have some ranch? I asked her for some ranch. She stared at me. She went, what? And I go, no, like ranch. Do you have ranch? And she goes, and then she calls the other server over. Right? And my ego went, oh, they think I'm cute how I say ranch. Like, for some reason, Like they're like, I think in like England they say ranch or something, like they say it differently. So they're like, oh, look at this cute Canadian saying it. Yeah. You're not saying ranch. He
didn't say ranch.
Yeah, he just
says ranch.
Yeah, he says ranch. Yeah, listen to him. Yeah, exactly. Listen to him say ranch, not wrong. Yeah, like, and so she calls out, and then they just both stare at me, and I go, no, now something's up. They've been staring at me. This isn't cute, like the way. So I look at my friend who's living in England, and I go, Aaron, do they have ranch here? And she goes, nah. And I was like, oh, I don't know about this country then. You know, like this is not ranch. And she goes, no, they got like something totally different. I'm like, this whole country's missing out. And I've heard
business proposition.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Introduce, because everybody, they're talking about like, you know, people, England and white people not liking spices and not liking food. So then the spicy food wasn't even that spicy.
That's
it wasn't
immediately where I was.
Yeah, it wasn't that spicy. I'm like, oh, because people talking about, oh, this is England. You guys just do potatoes and you guys don't know flavor. I'm just like, if you introduce ranch to this country, they're good. Ranch goes good on everything. Just put ranch on your potatoes, England, and it'll still be great.
Well, the girl at Jimmy Guaco's talked me out of, you know, getting the level of spice that I wanted, because I was like, yeah, hit me with that habanero sauce. And she's like, it's really spicy. And I'm like, all right, only just a little bit.
Right.
And you know what?
Nah.
Could have used more of it.
Could have used more, yeah. I was like, wow, okay. But, yeah, and then, yeah, that was the furthest I got. But I've been to Seattle, which was like my favorite, because that was like America. And I like was in a competition, and I did stuff like that was older and tried it like that, and it was all right, and like some really good sets. But then I did some like just mics on some stuff I've been working on, and some other stuff that's more where I am now, and it went killer. And I was like, wow, I like Seattle. Like it made me. I'm like, oh, I got to get back here. Seattle was awesome. They laughed at it, a lot of stuff.
Have you been to Portland?
No, but it was right down.
It's right there. Yeah.
I heard it's great.
It's
too.
awesome. Yeah. I did I went over to Portland years ago and did the same thing. Rented a car.
Yeah.
And it was awesome there.
Yeah.
Like that state.
And
is
that West Coast would be great to drive down.
It's so gorgeous, man. And like Portland's kind of in the valley. It's kind of like Hamilton actually, where it's kind of like in a. I mean, they call it the Hamilton Mountain. It's like a hill, but But it's kind of like in the valley and everything. And then like if you rent a car there, if you drive like an hour this way, you're heading towards Washington, so you got a lot of mountains. Head this way, and you got like really nice like sand dunes and like beaches and like awesome stuff. And then like on the other side of the mountains, you got like desert and like. You just see so much different types of like scenery there.
Right. Yeah. No, it's cool. Yeah. And yeah, Portland was close. And yeah, it's nice that America's cool like that, where just the cities are so close, and you like to tour it would be amazing, because Canada is like, all right, I'll go maybe to Halifax, and then I got to jump to Montreal, jump to Toronto.
Not to shit talk the prairies or anything.
Yeah,
there's something very meditative about driving through 17 hours of canola fields.
Yeah.
But
if I was doing it, I might skip over Saskatchewan,
so much you can
hit up
take.
Calgary, and then go to Vancouver, and that's like 4 spaces. But like America, to be in Seattle, to do Portland, to go to San Francisco, to go to LA, to be crazy. In one state, you hit more.
We have to plan that shit out. Right. And you can't like touring Canada as a band is so stupid.
Right.
Especially because you got 4 people.
Right.
Like it's not just like, I mean, if you're traveling with a group of stand-ups, like you're all kind of splitting gas, whatever.
Right.
But like in a band, like you definitely have like. I mean, even if you're a 2-piece, it's 2 people, right? So like you're splitting the cost of like traveling all the way across the whole
and you
country.
Guys are bringing instruments
and stuff. So you got to have storage. Like if you got a trailer, that's wasting gas too.
You have to.
So like. Yeah, like being in the States, I always feel like I just get jealous of bands. Like even if I catch wind of like a more indie band in the States, I just get jealous of all the touring they're able to do, because they're in that walled garden.
And they could just do the Northwest, and it'd be awesome, and they cover so much, and yeah, tour in Canada is great. And yeah, you do it with some comics definitely, but we don't have to bring your bag of clothes. But it is a lot of travel to get across. Even get out of Ontario is just insane.
But on the flip side, I don't know if in comedy it's the same.
Yeah.
This is the stuff I was really excited to get to. Just kind of because there's so many similarities but so many differences. So like when you hit a small town as a band, right? There was, like you might hit these really small populations, and you're the biggest thing to have come through there all year, and the whole town is there. Do you get those as a comedian, or do you always just aim for the big cities?
No, definitely. Yeah, even I had a friend just do like a strictly small town tour, and you do get some small, and you do hit some, and it is cool because it is cool when you're like, okay, I think the whole town's out, and trying to get them to laugh, and it's weird though because what's gonna make them laugh and stuff, and some stuff that. All right, this is not, I don't know if it's going to fly here, so you got to definitely change it up. But then you got to give it more credit too as well. But yeah, no, it is, I think for the comics, it's like, all right, but I don't, I'd rather be playing New York, but I'll play Timmins, you will do it, and they will pay you, that's why you do it. That's why you tour to small towns. Like, they're going to give you the money. You are the person who runs it, that bartender, that girl who's been there forever. She lets you know that, hey, everybody's excited. We're glad we sold this many. She sends you the emails. We sold this many already. Don't worry. A lot of people walk in. I went to a small town though. 2 small town crazy stories where all right, this would have been good, but then like the first small town we got to, we drove in the bar and we were there early, so we went down to the water, right? And then all of a sudden we see this boat, and there's like her daughter and a husband, like a son, like a dad on a boat, daughter on a boat, and they're just waiting there, and then you see a camera guy like up above, and you're like, what's going on, right? And I don't see this big boat in front of me, and all of a sudden we start walking back, and we look at this couple on a bench, and we're like, what's going on? And they're like, some kid jumped down from a cliff and he drowned, right? And then I look back, and the big boat that is yellow just says underwater search and rescue, right?
Oh my god.
So we get to the small town, we're like, oh man, that's horrible. So, and it's a small town, so we go to,
everyone knows that kid.
Everybody. So we get to everybody knows that kid. Because we get to the bar. We get to the bar that we're performing. The kid was the dishwasher at that bar.
No.
Yeah, that we were supposed to do. And he was supposed to work that day. He was supposed to be there. And it just, okay, this is going to be, do we even put it on? Like the comic I went with, his friends and family come, but it definitely, is anybody in a laughing mood? And it's crazy. If you're on Facebook in a small town, everybody has Facebook, so everybody's talking about this kid, and it's just like, wow. Yeah, just like, all right, that show. People were like, I'm not going out to a comedy show, Mrs. and Mrs. Peterson's son just, we told them not to jump off there. And so that kind of shut down the small town for sure.
What's your ideal, like, touring? Actually, just, I don't know how hard of a cutoff time 1:15 was, but we're a little past
over. Okay, you have more questions?
We can start winding it down.
Okay.
Eric, can you plug this in just so we're a little low on juice?
Okay.
We're not. Let's check if anyone got
a question in.
Nope, no one gives a fuck.
Okay.
People will like text me after.
Yeah.
The last one, just like recording in 10 minutes, and then like 8 hours later, they're like, my band just released an EP, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not still doing it.
It's not an 8-hour live stream. We're going 24-hour live stream from
Like, I know my bad for not getting it out sooner, but also I'm not still doing it.
Yeah. People get to their Facebook at weird times, and scroll through, and they're like, all right.
You have any favorite music? And do you have anything pre-show rituals? Anything to like trigger you, get into the zone?
Nothing. I pace a lot, Just want
pace a lot. That sounds unhealthy.
No healthy rituals. No, kiss, Hail Mary, kind of thing. But I just tell myself to have fun, and then just set up the camera and just rock it.
I think the pacing, like, I think it's a little different, like for comics versus musicians. I think that if you're pacing, you're breathing,
right?
And I think that that's super important to get your body into that. Because like if you start eating shit, which I'm not saying will happen,
but
or
it
whatever,
happens.
but if it does happen, like you can start tensing up, and your body, like if you don't breathe, like it's literally shitty for you,
yeah.
and you start going through like, oh god, what's happening, right? You get so into your head. So if you're walking and pacing and breathing, I think that's actually a really good thing to do. Yeah.
Warming. It's like warming up, you know. Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah. But no pre-rituals. But I do like always try to think of a song that I'd like. You know, people, hey, what intro song would you like? You know, and like at first it was like the Space Jam song, "Everybody Get Up, It's Time to," you know, that, and then I was watching like a Netflix, like when they're going around with rappers from different coasts, and it really got me back onto Ice-T's Colors. So it was like, oh, isn't it deep and his stuff? And he just goes, "I'm a nightmare walking the psychopath dog," and I was like, all right, cut it now. That's it. I would just want those two lines, those two, you know, words, and then boom, grab the mic and do it.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I like when I saw Louis at the ACC before and after. It's just Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, for sure, right?
And it's cool because it's not.
Yeah,
you know, it doesn't have to be funny.
No,
what you're about to see is already funny.
Yeah.
You can just be like, oh, I like this song.
But like you go to a Yuck Yucks and they got the same song that goes. You know,
really?
I forget. Yeah, it's oh man, I hear it all the time, but I'm trying to drown it out. But like, I go to a different club and they got like DMX, and I'm like, ooh, that gets you pumped, you know? Just blast some up in here. Ooh, you're like, okay, let's go, let's have fun.
He's a crazy person.
Yeah, but yeah, for sure. But you blast that, and it's insane. But to get people like that, because they're talking, right, and you know, chattering before the show, and just to let them know the show's about to, you know, lights might go off or something, and then boom. Oh, burn there, and you're like, okay, yeah.
How do you have the urge? You said you record every set, which is awesome. That's
recently I started, and I think I started doing that for social media, you know, just to cut a clip of it, and from watching Andrew do his thing.
Oh yeah.
Now I want to start trying to put some my own stuff on YouTube and hope maybe it catches and people watch. So
that was another thing where, you know, music is kind of adapting to this new era where no one's waiting for your album anymore, and unless you're Tool and it's been 12 years. This weekend's actually kind of a high holiday for us metalheads. I don't know if you're into the band at all.
You're following
playing them, but they haven't had anything on streaming platforms up until yesterday. So.
They have 5 of the top 5 albums on iTunes right now.
Wow!
Just because of like the immediate shift and like, oh, their stuff's on here.
Yeah.
They're literally taking up half of the top 10.
That's crazy. Gave it to you for the long weekend too, eh? Like, here, enjoy this. Don't go to work on Monday.
Still looking out for us Canadians.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, us Canadian. Yeah, that was their plan. Oh man, these Canadians got an August long weekend. Let's get them something.
So the music business has undergone this big shift where you're seeing like the return of the EP and the single, right? You don't have to be holed up in a studio and then kind of like, oh, we're back with this. It can just be like, boom, got a song with like a B-side, and that's the thing to do again. Was it? Yeah, Childish Gambino didn't even release a new album, right? He did that like Feels Like Summer, and then there was like like kind of a more ambient disco track that came with it, and it was like, oh, cool, and it's not attached to anything, right? Whereas I don't feel like comedy has caught up to that yet.
No,
but you're talking like Andrew Schultz cutting everything up, and it's like, just, you know, stream my bits,
right? And I think especially because you can right now, and you got to take advantage of that. You can get your stuff out there like that. So he's got someone who can shoot it like pretty well, and they edit it, and he does like other things on his YouTube channel as well, like a thing where he sits down with like 3 other comics and they discuss jokes and how to like kind of what we were talking about, how to make them funny, like jokes that don't really work and stuff. So he does that, which is cool, just especially for a comic. But then he has his podcast that he does, and he puts up the live streams and different stuff. But I think, you know, comics I think you should record your set, you know, I think, and get it out there on YouTube, and you know, scrolling through Facebook and like, comedian talks about, and you sit and watch that for 2 minutes, and you're like, that's funny, and then you move on. I'm trying to put my name. I don't want, people like, comedian says this. I'm like, no, Michael Boza says this, so you know where to go and look for it, right? But it is cool, and I think it's crazy though. But he's in New York, and he's got a lot more opportunities to perform in front of people than I, and
that's true.
But
and it does, as much as it shouldn't really matter, like having it's the reason that laugh tracks were so prominent for so long. People are like, oh, I laugh at this part.
And it's just getting that set where like they're actually really laughing, like the room's feeling it, and it translates to the video.
And your performance too.
Yeah, and the performance. But then there's even moments too that happen, like, on Monday I had just like a little crowd work moment that happened during the set, and that was nice. So I got to cut that and put it on, and like Instagram lets you do that highlight story thing so people can click through, and it's just 10 seconds of a bit, me saying something and the crowd laughing, and then.
Are you saving some stuff up to start putting on YouTube, or?
Yeah, well, like I have some bit. I'm just trying to get a good set to record it, and hopefully it turns out nice, and then I put it on. I have one vid, but hopefully I'll be able to put up. And I wanted to do
2 videos on YouTube, right? Or no?
I have like
I watched that one thing where like you call your mom on. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was like, it's not on your page, I don't think. I think it's called Parental Discretion or something.
Yeah. I think because it has the most views. So when you search my name on YouTube, that comes up first. Yeah. So that's a show where they have the parent of the comedian perform first. And then the comedian performs. So my mom's in Alberta, so I called her, right? I called her, and she did bits on the phone, which was awesome. It was pretty cool. She actually wrote like a really funny joke, and then I performed. So that's on there, but that's not like mine, and that's like old 2 years, like or a year and a half old. And it's weird, comic, like a year and a half, big difference in you as a comic for sure, especially if you're trying to grow. So a year and a half is like, way better. I don't want that stuff. You don't watch that on YouTube. Watch the stuff that I just
especially because like you're living every day, right? And especially if you're going up every night, that's literally like a year, 2 years, 2.5 years of like everyday experiences. Like writing new tags, writing new whatever.
Yeah, right? The joke's better. Yeah, you're stronger. Your presence on stage is stronger. So, but that's on there, which is pretty cool. It's a fun video to have up there. But that's not like I wanted like my own. I wanted to do one every Sunday, and then I couldn't like get it recorded nice enough. I started one. It was a really good set, and I cut 3 minutes out of a bit I'm really proud of, and I put that, and I want to put some more, just trying to. So I record every, and there's moments in every set, maybe some crowd work happens, for 2-3 minutes, and then I.
Would you record an album, like something with no visual element?
Yeah.
I feel like your comedy would lend itself to that.
I do want to do that. Yeah, for sure. And I want to find the good venue. But I think I want to record it in the States just because they get it. Yeah. They get it a little
Gary
more.
Goldman has some killer ones. His jokes don't require like any. You don't need to be seeing him. It's just fucking funny.
I think if I could do a proper set somewhere at a club, right, and you record it and read through, I think it would be enjoyable. I would definitely. I think that's probably what I'll do for my first recording thing. But I definitely want to play a club in the States and do it for sure. They just get it better than Canadian audiences. I don't know. They let loose, I guess, a little more. The jokes, they're like, all right, Canadians are a little, reserved, but it makes you better here to play to those audience and then try to get that big reaction out of them. It makes you better.
If someone's listening to this and they've been meaning to try stand up, do you have any words of encouragement, or would you discourage them? Would you be like, think to yourself, am I really this funny?
I think that's the. But definitely be like, oh, I'm funny, or like think that you're funny. Don't just think like I can feel like because you can go up there and you can try to say funny things, but you actually gotta be funny yourself too, right? So I would just do it. It's very just get into it. It is a community,
It's a totally different game than just being funny to your friends. You can have everyone crying, but you can get up on a stage and be like, there's no input.
Yeah, I would say like if you want to get into stand up, you hope you want to be a stand up because it is a long game, right? There's a lot, and it's cool because we do get to hang out and talk, and you're around weird people, and you're having these conversations, and it's funny. And you are going up on a stage, and sometimes you get a reaction from them, sometimes you don't, but then you work towards. But then it's still a long game to be real. So it's cool because you get to be this social aspect, and you do get this group of friends, and that's awesome, right? But at the end of the day, it might be too lonely, and then 10 years go down the road, it might be lonely, because the friends will leave, but it was good. It might be good for that 5 years,
right? There's probably a lot of people you started with that just aren't doing it anymore.
So it's cool that to definitely get into it. It's like fun world, and you're around those people, and you go out every night. You're at a bar or club or somewhere. And it is fun, but then you got to realize there's a lot of time, because you're gonna have the idea
of being
the idea of being in there, and so for sure. But yeah, definitely, if you want to do it, I think give it a try, right? Go up there. There's mics all over. Zyla's popping on the, for three people.
They have that first timers club.
They have first timers. Yeah, Mazzarino runs that. I would suggest finding the comedy group on your face, or just go to a comedy show, ask the comic what show I could do for your first time, and do it for sure. And then, get into it. Hamilton's got a great scene, and then we're surrounded by other scenes, so it's a great place to do comedy in Hamilton.
All right, so usually we have the musicians play some tunes for us. You want to do a set for me and Eric right now?
A joke? Yeah, that's the wrong place. Like, just might have to just take my YouTube video and put it,
All right, so any last?
I was gonna say, do you want to plug any of your social media tags and stuff?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, just find man.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
I couldn't do Twitter,
on
but
the same page.
Yeah, I couldn't do Twitter.
Fuck that website.
You
don't
Facebook,
need it.
Twitter. I was like, this isn't. I don't think. Yeah, it's not. It's more for the president than it is for me right now.
That would be dope if everyone left Twitter and it's just fucking the president being like whatever asinine shit he's thinking about. Sure.
But Facebook, just find me, Michael Moses. I don't have a page yet, but I'm trying to get to that 5,000 friend cap, and then I'm like, all right, I obviously don't have 5,000 friends, so then I'll create a page that you can and post some stuff there. But yeah, just add me a friend. I'm always exactly what your Facebook turns into is pretty much just your posts anyway of shows.
Your new friend Michael Moses. Yeah, find him on Facebook,
and then Instagram. I'm very active, post shows there, and the stories. And so it's like _ Michael Moses _ I couldn't get just Michael Moses. Gotta maybe message the dude, but it is. I think if you search Michael Moses, I might pop up, but _ Michael Moses _
Have you creeped other Michael Moses's?
Yeah,
Instagram
man. Yeah,
page?
for sure. Because just something that just says Michael Moses, because it's a nice, strong name.
Do you feel like he doesn't need it?
Yeah, I think he's a photographer or something.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know if he's a photographer. He's a guy that has a camera.
What? Maybe you can pitch him a really killer photography company name,
right?
And then he'll change it.
Yeah. I wish go Michael Moses Photography or something, but maybe I think he's just a guy with a camera. He does nice photos, but But I did have it something totally different. But yeah, now I'm trying to people can find it easily. So if they type in Michael Moses Instagram, I think it should pop up. You can find me, my face, and it's public, so you don't have to add and I'll judge you if I want you to see my shit. So it's up there. Yeah, _ Michael Moses _ Instagram. That's very So follow me on that, and I'll probably follow back because I'm not gonna have that ego or
I'm gonna do it right now. Let's. Oh, that's Chris Chambers talking to a dog. Am I running the phone through the? It's Michael _ Moses.
I know _ Michael Moses.
Oh, _ Michael Moses.
Yeah.
Put the _ between the words, man. Then it looks like you did it on purpose.
Right.
What are you thinking?
I don't. Maybe I did that. Maybe I did.
Now you're second guessing your.
I think.
You sandwiched it with underscores.
Yeah, it's Michael Moses sandwich. Yeah, I could just say that it's sandwiched with underscores.
All right. Followed.
Done.
You all have to do the same thing. Follow _ Michael Moses _ on Instagram.
Michael Moses sandwiched by underscore.
Become his new friend on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Help him hit that 5,000 cap so he can justify making a a legit page and not have to talk to you anymore.
Right. I'm like, okay, now
I'm going to start deleting people.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, got it. Yeah, now I got to be like, who's worthy of this? Yeah.
Negative comment, block.
Yeah, exactly. Blocked. Yeah, block.
All right, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it a lot.
Some sort of sign off. This is the Michael A.M. Radio Show. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Share this if you like it. And I say all those things, but I think I say them just because people tell me that I'm supposed to say them. But I don't know where do they even comment, or like, do you like my website? How do you do that? Anyway, figure it out. The Michael A.M. Radio Show. .libsyn.com. If you're listening to this, you're already there, so I don't know. Bye.